that the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says that he is open to neutrality, but he wants to face Vladimir Putin face to face. And the other is that Russia appears to be focusing its invasion on the Donbass region, specifically in a pincer move to cut off the Ukrainian forces fighting there. What can you tell us?
Well, Ankit, before I get into answering all your questions, let me just tell all our viewers that our team is back on the ground. We're getting you all the latest updates from Ukraine. In fact, over the next 24 to 48 hours, I can tell you that we'll be getting you reports from across different parts of Ukraine. For all those who've essentially thought that there is an end to this war, it doesn't look like. We are now entering a protracted phase of this entire war. We are now reporting from a place called Brody. Now, Brody is just crossing a little the Lviv Oblast towards Kiev. This is a village area, but let me tell you why this is going to be very important. Because what we have seen in the last 48 hours is that considered safe havens in western Ukraine have now been attacked by Russia. In fact, they wanted to send across a message that not very far from where President Joe Biden was there, they carried out an attack. And now these are places that have constantly been attacked over the last few days. And there appears to be a change in tactics. Now, let me answer your question, Ankit, that is with regards to where exactly are the Russians now focusing. As far as Kiev, Chernihiv, Sumy are concerned, the Ukrainians are saying these are now becoming the secondary task of the Russians. Important to point out is that they are now focusing on creating a land corridor through Donbass, getting inside Crimea, and that's where the focus is. There is a land corridor that is being created by Russia going into the autonomous region of Crimea and crossing Luhansk and Donetsk. And that is the reason why, let me tell you, Ankit, why right now the Russians are becoming, they are focusing, they are saying that we are now looking at the eastern flank, that this is the eastern flank. They are no longer going to just look at, perhaps just looking at the Crimea area or the Donetsk or Luhansk. That's the focus where. As far as Kiev is concerned, they have essentially halted their operations outside Kiev. So right now their focus isn't really Kiev. 35 kilometers where they have been pushed back from the capital city of Kiev. And the Ukrainian intelligence agency is indicating that Sumy as well as Kharkiv, these are now becoming the secondary tasks. So that's a very important shift in their tactic right now. Over the next few days, perhaps the focus is also going to be on how operations are basically launched from the Black Sea. The Azov battalion of the Ukraine army, that has been the target of the Russians at this point in time. Areas closer towards down south is becoming the target area for the Russians. Now, all this is in the backdrop of the negotiations which are supposed to be taking place between the 28th and 30th of this month in Turkey. Now, we have seen what's the fate of these kind of negotiations that has taken place over the last few weeks. Time and again, Ukraine has been saying that they are looking forward to a ceasefire agreement. They're hoping that the Russians are going to withdraw from the territory, but that's not really happened. And secondly, what's going to be very, very crucial is the address that Vladimir Putin is going to make tonight around 9 o'clock or 10:30 between. That's the time, Indian time, that Vladimir Putin is going to address. It is going to be important to see whether at all he gives that indication that right now their aim perhaps is to create an independent area in Donetsk and Luhansk. Remember, the LPR and DPR, through a decree that was passed by the Russian president, is now seen as an independent region. But this is the contentious area. Ukraine says that they are not willing to cede any inch of their territory. There is no question of any sort of negotiation when it comes to Donetsk and Luhansk. Important to point, I'll ask our viewers, I'll ask Rawatji also to give you a glimpse of this entire area while we are still reporting from this place. So let me just go back to what we know as in terms of the information that we have. So it's going to be important to see how exactly Russian President Vladimir Putin indicates in terms of how their operation has gone so far. Because importantly, in all the meetings that he's had with his coterie, with his defense minister and others, they've all indicated that their plan has been on track. There has not been any change as such. They believe they have gained some significant changes that have taken place. They have got some significant gains in the operation that has been carried out so far. Is that the reality? We'll have to wait and watch, because listen, if you really look at the initial plans of being able to capture some of the important cities like Kiev, that has not happened. And even the bigger cities in Kharkiv and all, they still remain to be under the control of the Ukrainians. So whether that is part of their initial plan, not very sure at this stage. But of course, there were enough indications that they wanted to carry out these operations. They wanted to take control of these Ukrainian cities, which would essentially mean that they would have got an upper hand in these negotiations. But that has not really happened. And that's the reason why there appears right now a slight change in their tactic, where they are saying that they are now going to concentrate on the eastern side. This has also been admitted by a Russian general in the Telegram, a Russian, I would say, a pro-Russian Telegram channel, which has also put out the information of a Russian general, quoting a Russian general, that right now Kiev and those areas up north of Ukraine is not their concern. Their concern is more on the eastern side. So Donbass region becomes the key focus of this so-called military operation of Russia.